Alright everybody, hello and welcome back to XGT Round 2 from Circuit of the Americas. The cars are loading up onto the grid, so let's go ahead and get jumped on board with them. I am your host, Josh Eifert, XPR Forbidden, and I am flying solo for today. My co-commentator, Matt for XPR Project, actually is having some electrical stuff done to his house tonight. Found out that they actually managed to cut off his power, so with that being said, I will do the best I can flying solo with you guys today, so feel free to drop me a line in chat, and we'll see if we can't get through this hour 45 minute of racing here from Circuit of the Americas today. Two classes with the GTX and GT field. So let's get a look at our starting grid. So, starting on pole today is LRT Breeze with a 202.337. Second place is GSR Roadrunner. Third is LRT Stubbsy. Fourth, XPR Chicane. Fifth, Mr. Stepanov. And rounding out the GTX field is XPR Roadrunner with a 204.668. Zabsy took GT pole by 3 seconds with a 209.335. He took that from LMR Hybrid, who is filling in for General So. Dover 78 is third in GT, followed by Desert Penguin, Ferrari Fanatic, Stug, Mr. T, and a Blue Ninja Bear who actually had some problems connecting to the qualifying lobby, but we were able to get him into the race. So looks like we've got 6 GTX and 8 GTs here with us today as everybody continues on their warm-up lap. And we will get on board with these guys. So we will jump up, start in the second row as they are on the backstretch right now. Heading into the stadium section. They should start forming up 2x2. It's a staggered start. So we will get going here in a minute as they hit turn 15. Oh, they were supposed to change that if they didn't change the starting grid. Blame Stoobs. Hashtag blame Stoobs. Get that trending and get him fired. Well, I think they're going to keep about a 1,000-foot gap here. And looks like they're starting to get formed up, as LRT Breeze will be controlling the field. So, hour and 45 minutes here at Circuit of the Americas. And it looks like they are going. Looks like the grid was a little bit out of order, but looks like they're fine. So the 130-foot climb up to turn 1. It looks like a couple moves already being made. Looks like GSR Roadrunner got trapped on the inside a little bit. So LRT Breeze got a good run into turn 2. And it looks like they all got through in order. So let's jump back and see if we can maybe catch the start of our GT race. Oh, they've already made it through turn 1 and 3 wide, coming down into the long right-hander for turn 2. So it looks like Zabsy still got away fairly well. He qualified 3 seconds clear as they head into the S's for the first time. And let's see, it looks like everybody decided to get line single file first lap. It's a good idea. And it looks like they are already starting to pull away. So let's jump back up board with the GTX class and see how GSR Roadrunner is doing. As they hit the backstretch, getting ready to enter the stadium section here, turn 12. Very tight left here. Well, it looks like LR2 Breeze got a little bit of a gap, but not too much. And they're all single file for now. Well, it looks like Breeze might be starting to pull away already on lap 1. We turn 15 as they get ready to head into the triple right for the first time. Oh, it looks like some little bit of tapping at the back. Yeah, thank you for the link. Their turn two onboards, and I don't know if I have the monitor room to bring them both up, so I'm kind of stuck with one. So Breeze will come around and lead the first lap, and he's pulling out a little bit, half second or maybe a second. And it looks like there isn't much going on at the moment other than looks like Stubbsy might be starting to put the pressure on Roadrunner here a little bit. And I do apologize in advance. We probably are going to miss some stuff because I'm by myself. So this is Extreme GT. It is hosted by XPR but run on the UltimateRacingNetwork.com. It is a community series. So if you want to find out more information, head over to theultimateracingnetwork.com and you will find it under their core community series, and this is Extreme GT, hosted by the folks over at XPR. It is a two-class race, GTX, which is a spec race of the Nissan GT500 car. As it looks like Roadrunner got a little loose going on to the backstretch, that's going to compromise and Stubbsy goes through easily. Probably going to pull out a little gap. I don't know if GSR Roadrunner can get back into the toe heading here into turn 12. But getting back to it, the GTX class is a spec class with the Nissan GT500 car that came out just before we had round 1 over at Brands Hatch. So we made this car because it is modeled after the Super GT, and then you have the GT class, which looks like they're running about 5 seconds slower. About from the leaders, it's probably about 8 seconds or so. Oh, it looks like that Roadrunner's just having problems on this lap. Stubbsy goes through the triple right. So let's move back to our GT field. Oh, Stubbsy with a big tank slapper there. Not too scared to move around right now. As he comes through to complete lap 2. Looks like Roadrunner is closed up and he might get a good toe and make a move up into turn 1, so let's just stick right here. Well, let's actually get on board with Roadrunner again and see if he can make the move. It looks like he's going to still be too far back. Yep. And I thought my eyes deceived me. I thought there was already a GT car there getting ready to be lapped, but looks like everybody's still doing alright, so let's go ahead and head back to our GT field and see how Zabsy is doing. Looks like Zabsy has pulled out a pretty good lead just on the second lap here in that Bentley. It's going to have some good power going down the straights. So anyway, back to our GT class since we're here. This was a more open build. The builds for the cars are specific, but there was a lot more cars that you could choose from, anywhere from the, like you see here, the Bentley GT3 car down to the BMW BTCC car and the Volvo STCC car, as well as some others like the McLaren GT3, Mercedes GT3 made it in. So a lot more car choices, which gave us a pretty good field of diversity here. So it looks like right now the Bentley is having a pretty good time of it. So it is a track that, while very technical, it has some straights, and this Bentley with the acceleration out of the corners is amazing. Even though the top speed might not be much higher, it just has the drive coming out of the corners. So let's move back in the GT field and see if there's anything going on. So here we are with Ferrari Fanatic and his Maserati. Of course, the one car I forget to mention is the one I go to. as he gets ready to enter the stadium. And it looks like everybody is pretty much spread out. So we could be in for a lap fest. That looks like a hybrid is still in second in class. So he say there. I thought I saw a different car up there, but apparently not. So it looks like a Ninja Bear has made a move and passed Desert Penguin, who was actually filling in for Lone Wolf, who couldn't make it today. But this looks like a decent little battle here at the back of the GT field. Actually, there looks like Ninja Bear's making a move into the triple right. Let's get on board with that. See what we can see. Definitely hard to make a move in here, but if you can make it stick, you're definitely going to come out flying, but not recommended to go too wide. Looks like he fell back in line. He might make a move down here into turn 1 if he can get a good run. He closes right up on the bumper of the Mercedes. Oh, and he pulls out early. Oh, falls back in line. He's probably going to try and get some of that toe. Several lines you can take through turn 1 here because there's so much tarmac. There really isn't a wrong line, but you have to be aware of the over-unders, which it looks like he's going to try right now. He does, and it looks like he has made the space. Yep, he is clear heading into turn 2. So good move there by Ninja Bear. Moving up. So he's already gained 2 spots here in the opening 3 laps. They head through the S's. And it actually looks like Mr. T may be in danger of losing his position to his teammate, or who's filling in for his teammate this week. So we will jump back there, and it looks like actually Desert Penguin's made a move. And he's got the inside through the fast left as they get ready to hit the turn before the back straight. But it looks like Mr. T's thinking about coming back, and he kind of drifts it, a little bit of contact. Watch it, teammates. That's not how you want to be doing it. We got over an hour left. I mean, over an hour and a half left. No need to get too physical. And as they head into turn 12, it looks like Penguin is going to keep the position. Oh, and Mr. T runs way wide, so he's going to lose some ground there. Let's go check out our GTX guys. Let's hop on board with XPR Chicane. Looks like Mr. Stepanov has actually dropped a spot to XPR Roadrunner. XPR Roadrunner looks like he's moved from 6th to 5th and is trying to catch XPR Chicane. And it looks like these guys have spread out. Looks like Stubbsy's gotten around GSR Roadrunner. Apologies for missing that. As they head on to the back straight. But GSR Roadrunner should have the toe, but he's a little bit back. Not sure if it's going to be enough to pull him up. He'll probably pull up just in time to have to hit the braking zone here. So looks like the LRT boys are 1-2 in GTX, and I don't even see Breeze in the picture. This could be due to this battle here for second. That Breeze looks like he has left everybody. There he is, just exiting turn 15. A couple turns ahead of these guys. But if they keep battling, that'll only increase his gap and it'll bring the rest of the GTX guys up to them. So we will see here. So hour 45-minute sprint, 3 to 4 pit stops depending on your car and your setup. We'll see what kind of strategy anybody plays. It doesn't play into effect as much as these guys in the GTX cars because they're all in the same car. So unless you can tune out an entire pit stop, which I don't think is possible, you're going to be on basically the same strategy as everybody else. So LRT Breeze, if this is your first race with us, LRT Breeze was actually in the GT field last time at Brands Hatch and went away. I mean, he just left everybody, so he decided to make the jump up into the GTX field. And with the removal of the TLR guys, it allowed LRT to get a team entry into GTX, so Breeze actually forfeited all his points from round 1 to move up to the GTX field. Looks like it's paying off, so now, because right now he's the overall leader, and he's already entering the back straight here, so we'll see what happens. Stoobsy's doing a good job. I'm sure he's driving hard, but he's doing exactly what you would want out of Team Orders, is let Breeze get away, and hopefully still finish second. So take that one too, LRT. It looks like GSR Roadrunner is just kind of settling in line here, and as I say that, he'll probably try and make a move, because he is closed right up right now on Stubbsy. So we'll see if he tries to make a pass here. Turn 15 is a really opportune passing point, so looks like he dove to the inside. He might be going for it. Wasn't close enough. So a few more corners and he'll be behind. He might get another run up into turn 1. If he can just stay on the back or get a good run coming out of the last corner with the toe, he might be able to make it. And you can see the different lines going through the triple right there. Stubbsy was hugging it very close, and Roadrunner was letting it run out a little wide, and he gets a run a little bit. Let's see if he can make it stick through this last corner and pull up right on the bumper. Looks like, I don't know if that was the game or if Breeze kicked up some dirt there. These moves in turn 1 are so hard to defend if somebody makes one, but it looks like GSR Roadrunner is just content with hanging on for the moment. Doesn't want to push too hard. We still have a lot of racing to go. We're about 15 minutes into the race, so still got an hour and a half to go, so you don't need to screw it up here. But through the S's, wow, GSR Roadrunner right on the rear of Stubbsy. Not somewhere you want to be trying to pass. Oh, and GSR Roadrunner spins, and that is going to cost him. Will it cost him a position? It may, because here comes XPR Chicane. But it looks like Roadrunner's got it sorted, but he's going to have a lot of work to do now. And Stubbsy ahead of him could just focus on laying out some hot laps here and try and get away. So Roadrunner pushed a little too hard and paid for it, but luckily he still does have that hour and a half to go to try and make up for it. So let's go ahead and move further back. Let's see how our GT leader is doing. As he turns into turn 2, fast right-hander, he looks like he has a big gap. I need to fall back and see where Elmar Hybrid is, as I know Zabsy is just entering the S's. So yeah, he's a good ways back. So it looks like GT is really spread out at the moment. Not much going on there, so we'll see where everybody's at. Dover in 3rd, GT, and that Lego BMW. Probably hands down the favorite livery so far. So it looks like GT, they've conceded to where they are. Ferrari Fanatic behind him. And it looks like actually Ninja Bear is continuing his move up through GT. So he is up to 11th overall. Looks like there's a battle going on right behind him. So let's jump on board with Desert Penguin. As he and Stug are getting into it a little bit here. Oh, and as I say that, Penguin gets a little sideways, loses a little time. That's actually okay in this part of the track. If you can close up here coming onto the back straight, you're going to have a good toe. So it looks like he took a little wide, missed the apex a little bit, but he might be carrying some pretty good speed. See if the BMW can stay ahead. That's a good gap to make up. I don't think he's going to make it up on this lap at least. And it looks like Mr. T behind him is having a tough go of it this week. He is way back when just a couple laps ago they were battling for position. So seems like those Mercedes definitely like drifting the corners. So he needs to watch it, or they're gonna start shooting up those tires. It's definitely not what you need on a longer sprint. So it looks like actually he's losing some ground as he goes really wide into the triple, but looks like it'll work out for him. He looks to be closing up on this back section a little bit. He just needs to to be a little smoother here, and you might be able to get a run. Looks like they just get on the power a little early and kick the back ends of those Mercedes out. As they come around, complete another lap. Looks like, is that something happened ahead of him? Let's go look at Ferrari Fanatic, see what he's up to. I thought I saw a couple cars together. Maybe that was, it was Ninja Bear, maybe it was that Audi I saw. Yeah, maybe I thought it might have been two different cars. So, with the black and white. Actually, let's go check back on GSR Roadrunner and see if he's into anything. Oh, thank God, I thought my game had froze. So it looks like he is still sitting in third, trying to make up that ground he lost with that incident. So while that's being said, why don't we head up to our leader, LRT Breeze. He doesn't get as he's already starting to lap traffic, so good time to get on to him, see how he navigates this. As he makes a move to the inside, should be able to outbrake the Mercedes here. And the Mercedes lets him go. It's a good move on him, so let's actually, not much going on, so actually let's ride on board for a lap with LRT Breeze here as he goes through the stadium section and you can check out the power of this Nissan. Maybe he'll get some other lap traffic and we'll see how he navigates everything. As he comes through turn 15. So we will get lap traffic will be happening soon. But I know Mr. T was a little ways back, so but it'll be interesting. These GTX cars and the GT cars, for that fact, can cause battles with the other classes depending on how you can pass. As he closes up here, oh, it looks like actually I'm gonna jump away from this. Looks like there was a move further back in the field. Yeah, it looks like Desert Penguin was able to get around Stug, so let's get on board with that and see what happens as LRT Breeze closes in on him. And will he be... he's got a good lead, so will he decide to be patient and just wait for a straightaway to pull away from him, or will he push the issue, go through the corners and influence this battle here? Very interesting to see what he picks to do, because looking at his own telemetry and his own information, he'll see that he's got a pretty good gap, so he doesn't need to push it, but that doesn't... he's a race car driver. So here he goes. As he approaches Stug, looks like he is waiting, biding his time, which I think is the smart move. Don't want to go flying through there on the outside. And this is where he should be able to get the move done. Same move he got it done last lap. He will easily outbrake the BMW down the back straight, and he should get both cars without slowing either one of them up, even though Stug does go a little wide. And actually, if Stug is smart, he'll try to tuck in behind that Nissan as long as he can, even though the Nissan's going to start pulling away. And looks like it was a graphical. I thought he was moving to the inside, so LRT Breeze easily through on the Mercedes as well. So it looks like he got through there without much incident and didn't really slow anybody up, so well, that's good for him. So as it spreads out again, we'll remind you this is Extreme GT by XPR, and make sure to give us a follow here on the Twitch channel. We will be broadcasting every round live, so make sure to give us a follow, and down on our channel, down in the description, you can follow our YouTube. All broadcasts will probably be uploaded to YouTube, so if you're watching this on YouTube, also make sure to follow our Twitch channel and see when we go live. We will try and do qualifying and the races, as well as some other miscellaneous content. So this is XGT presented by Turn, theultimateracing.network.com if you're interested in following it. I am your host, Josh Eifert, at XPR Forbidden on Twitter, or XPR Forbidden on Xbox. So let's go see what's going on further back. I know there was a little bit going on between Mr. Stepanov and XPR Roadrunner, but it looks like they're a couple hundred feet apart at least. as LRT Breeze is continuing to navigate the field, the GT field. So Mr. Stepanov in that bright Adidas GTR. So let's quickly just run through the running order, and I'll try and keep my eyes peeled. So your overall leader is LRT Breeze, followed by Stubbsy, so it's LRT 1-2. Third is GSR Roadrunner. Fourth is XPR Chicane, followed by XPR Roadrunner, so the two XPR guys there. Mr. Stepanov is sixth, bringing up the GTX field. Leader in GT is Zabsy, and last we checked he had a comfortable margin. Eighth is LMR Hybrid, second in GT. Next is Dover, followed by Ferrari Fanatic, a blue Ninja Bear who qualified last. He wasn't able to make qualifying, wasn't able to get into the lobby, but gratefully we got that sorted and got him into the race. And then behind him is Desert Penguin, who's actually filling in for Lone Wolf this week. And then Stug 77 and Mr. T brings up the rear. So that being said, let's I think the rest of these GTX boys should be catching the GT field here pretty soon, and I would assume that LRT Breeze has already made it through. And as I say that, it looks like Roadrunner is coming up on a Mercedes in the triple right, and he's going to stick to the inside. Should get the drive out and be clear before the next corner easily. SRT Zach, if you didn't hear, LRT Breeze is the overall leader, with Zabsy leading in the GT class. So actually, let's jump on board with this GTX car and look at the telemetry and see what they're doing on fuel, so we can see what the pit stops are going to look like. Looks like, well, GSR Roadrunner, he pushes pretty hard, and he had that little incident. He's already got 50% wear on the front tires and 16% of fuel. Fuel played a big part, actually, at Brands Hatch when the second place car of XPR Chicane ran out of fuel on the final corner, but made it to the line before third, so he actually kept his position, but was out of fuel. So we'll see if that comes into play again today. So these guys, 15% fuel. We're about almost half hour in, so they should be hitting the pits here within the next couple laps. As it looks like both him and is that Stubbsy ahead of him? Looks like he has gained some ground on Stubbsy. Yeah, Stubbsy's just clear of the Audi. So GSR Roadrunner has definitely been putting down some well-timed laps to close that gap back up. And GSR Roadrunner gets through the Audi. Not without a little slide though. So he has caught him up, and they've maintained a pretty healthy gap ahead of XPR Chicane. So good to see that Roadrunner recovered from that slide and spin earlier. There's now Stubbsy. It looks like Stubbsy's diving into the pits here. So he decided to take a pit. Oh boy. I hope he made it. Doesn't really matter, he's going into the pit, so you get that repair, but that looked like a pretty serious entry into pit road there. So looks like he is our first pit stop, unless Breeze also pitted. Looks like that's Breeze ahead of him leaving pit, so he will fall down the order. So GSR Roadrunner will take the overall lead. We also have a BMW in the pits pulling out, so he will come out right behind LRT Breeze, so be careful on cold tires. See how this goes. So looks like actually that's right. Unless it needs to update. If that is right, looks like most of the GTX guys, yeah, it looks like almost the entire GTX field pitted then, because nobody else got past Breeze. And there you go, there's a line of GTX cars coming out of the pits. So looks like GSR Roadrunner is just trying to push his fuel to as far as it'll go. but he's already got a fair amount of wear on those front tires. So we'll see if he actually comes in this lap, or if he's going to try and see how far he's going to try to push it. As he's behind Ferrari Fanatic, who's in the Maserati. Roadrunner goes for it, pushes down the inside, and makes it. Good thing I think Ferrari Fanatic probably gave away a little bit there. So, and then Roadrunner trips it around the triple right. So I think that might be, looks like that thing's trying to get loose on him. I think it might be time to pull that thing into the pits and get some new tires. See if he does it or if he tries to stay out. And he pulls into the pit, so I think that going around that right-hander that way, sideways, was enough to tell him, hey, we need some tires. So I think LRT Breeze should be able to come through and regain the lead, as he's in the right-hander now. I think he should have this easily. He had a very healthy gap, and he came out ahead of any GT traffic, so I think he had open track in front of him on his outlap. So he will be he will retake the lead here as they cross the line. Yep, and you can see Roadrunner there, and even though he's still showing in first, I don't think that's correct. Yeah, he's just coming out of the pits now. So that almost looks like he lost ground staying out that extra lap. No, not too much, because no. Looks like he took second staying out. So actually, good strategy call on his part. He actually comes out ahead of Stubbsy. So Stubbsy's outlap was not the greatest and allowed GSR Roadrunner to get ahead, but he's being held up by the BMW as he tries to go on the outside through the S's. And that's going to allow Stubbsy to he gets around the BMW easily, so it allows him to close back up. So they're just going to resume the battle they were about to have before the pit stop cycle. And Roadrunner's wasting no time getting those rear tires warmed up as they get ready to head down the back straight. So Stubbsy will be on slightly warmer tires, but I don't know if that'll make a difference. Let's see if he can get into the toe here. That looks a little far. I don't think he'll quite make it. So they will slot back in. So GSR Roadrunner looks like he'll hold second for a little bit. We'll go see. It looks like Zapsy is still in the lead of the GT field. And has he pitted yet? He has not pitted yet. He's got 11%, so we'll expect him here in a lap or two. Probably the end of this lap, I would assume, unless he really wants to push it, because he's got 60% wear on his front tires. And he's down to 10%, so he'll probably be down to 7 or 6, so we'll expect him in this lap. Tentative guess. We'll see what has happened with the GT field. Now this is the class where fuel could come into play, because they all have different fuel consumption. And he's got about 14% fuel, so I would assume that he would probably be in this lap as well, and he's actually put even more abuse on those front tires at 67%. So it looks like LMR Hybrid will probably be pitting this lap as well. Probably be at about 10% when he hits pit road. And it looks like other people have pitted, because now Ferrari Fanatic is up into third in class. Oh no, he hasn't pitted. He's got 15%. Well, I'm expecting most of these cars in this lap. So Desert Penguin hasn't pitted either. Let's just run through the entire GT field. We've already made it halfway. So Dover has pitted. Looks like he actually pitted a couple laps ago. He's already down to 80%. So that BMW, he might have been the one behind Breeze when he pitted. So that's our first pitter. And Ninja Bear behind him has also pitted in the Audi. And it looks like he's a couple corners behind. GT field is really spread out. Sorry, we don't have much action going on at the moment. Yeah, it looks like I believe everybody behind is pitted. Yeah, Mr. T just came out of the pits, so. Looks like XPR Chicane is ahead a little bit of XPR Roadrunner. So it looks like the one battle we do maybe have a chance of developing would be the one between GSR Roadrunner and Stubbsy here, as Stubbsy gets around the Mercedes again. Whereas GSR Roadrunner a little bit up the hill, so they're spread out. Could have been some lap traffic in there, so. Just a reminder to give us a follow on Twitch if you are watching. I don't know if Turn is hosting us, but if you go over to twitch.tv/xpracing and give us a follow when we go live, we will be covering all these races. And also on YouTube, you can, if you go to the channel, you can find a link to our YouTube below there in the description, and all of our social media platforms on Twitter at XPR_club and on Facebook. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, I am at XPR Forbidden, no spaces, no underscores. And you are watching round 2 of Extreme GT here from Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. And we are closing in on the 45-minute mark, so about 10 minutes away. So we've got another hour of racing to go. So to run through the lineup, looks like we'll wait a little bit. Most of our pit stops for the GTX field have been completed though. So overall leader is LRT Breeze, followed by GSR Roadrunner, who actually gained a position on the pit stop cycle. Third is LRT Stubbsy, and XPR Chicane is in 4th, XPR Roadrunner is in 5th, and Mr. Stepanov is in 6th. And that is your GTX field. Looks like Hybrid has moved up for the moment, and we'll jump on board with him. He's in the pits, and I'm assuming... Now, what happened to Zabsy? He's fallen a couple. I hope he's exiting the... Yeah, he must have pitted last lap. I certainly hope so. Yeah, so he should regain the GT lead right now. Yeah, so he's back into the lead of the GT field. And a Hybrid looks like he'll probably rejoin back in 2nd place in GT. And then behind him is Ferrari Fanatic, Desert Penguin, Dover 78, a Blue Ninja Bear, who started from the back of the grid due to not making qualifying. Stug, Mr. T brings up the rear of the GT field. So it looks like everybody's completed their pit stops, and it looks like everybody's maintained the same order. So now we're just looking through, trying to find some action here. I don't know when LRT Breeze may be catching the GT guys again. Kind of hard to tell where everybody's at. So if this is something that interests you, or you want any more information on the cars, or want to get involved with racing like this, please head over to theultimateracingnetwork.com, and you can find the Extreme GT section under the Core Community Series. So this is a series run by Extreme Performance Racing, but hosted at Turn through their Community Series program. So a big shout out to them. As we have a little bit of a lull here, it looks like everybody's really spread out. Doesn't look like we have quite the action that we had at Brands Hatch. If you want to see some interesting stuff, after this, head over to YouTube and at the Extreme Performance Racing YouTube channel and watch the broadcast from Brands Hatch 2 weeks ago. That had action almost the entire race. Made it pretty easy to follow along, and gave us some good views there. Stubbsy runs a little wide on turn 1. We'll just kind of hang out and go through the field. Check out Mr. Stepanov in his Adidas GTR, that bright purple. Lots of colors. It looks like he picked up some damage with that headlight busted out. Don't think it was probably too bad. It's pretty much now they're all just trying to lay down the best laps they can and close on the guy in front of them while maintaining the gap of the guy ahead of them. It does look like XPR Chicane and XPR Roadrunner are getting a little close together, so we'll keep an eye on that. As we hop on board with a Blue Ninja Bear in his Audi. Again, if you guys have any questions, any comments, feel free to throw them in chat. With everybody kind of hot lapping, I'll try and re-chat and interact with everybody as much as I can. But from the looks of it, looks like LRT Breeze is probably out for a Sunday drive at this point. Well, let's check out XPR Roadrunner and see if he can... And just in time, looks like he is catching XPR Chicane. Now, they are teammates, even though they do have different livery cars. Extreme GT doesn't necessarily mandate you to have matching liveries, so even though it's a team entry, you can have your own paint. So they are XPR team entry, so it'll be interesting how they handle each other being teammates if they communicate that one is clearly faster, because it looks like Roadrunner has caught Chicane. If Chicane lets him go, or if they just kind of fall in line and maybe work together to try and catch ahead of him. If you are interested in XGT, actually we capped this specific series at a certain amount of entries, 20, because we wanted to keep it one lobby to allow us to broadcast everybody that was involved. But we are taking reserve entries. For example, we do have 2 reserve drivers in here today that didn't make it. We actually have Hybrid is filling in for XPR General So, and Desert Penguin is filling in for Lone Wolf. We actually had a third lined up, but it kind of fell through at the last minute. But if you go to theultimateracingnetwork.com and go to the Extreme GT section, you will see that there are mandatory decals that need to be put on the car, as well as the car list and the builds that you have to be put on now. If it's not in the build list, don't put it on, because these cars were balanced before the season started. So, but make sure to make a note, because we are hoping for a Season 2 of Extreme GT if this goes well, and if it goes really well, shameless plug, hopefully it gets picked up by Turn for an official series and we can have more than one lobby. So make sure to go over there and express your interest, and maybe for Season 2 you can get in and or sign up right now as a reserve driver. We have no limit to the reserve drivers. You just have to be ready to fill in at a car at a week. Sometimes it's fairly short notice, sometimes it isn't. I know a couple of the guys knew, well, we did have a team drop their entry, so there was about a week and a half where the LRT GTX team knew what they were doing, so they had time to get everything together, but a couple of these guys filled in last minute, and they're just out here running, so head over there and check that out, and you might see some other series you might be interested in over at the Ultimate Racing Network. A lot of the VEC, their Endurance series, is coming up soon, and there's a lot of other good core series. I know there's a Maserati Trefoil series also underway, so head over there and you'll get all the information you need. And I know that I believe Turn has representative in chat, so if you have any questions you can direct them there as well. So it looks like they're pretty much holding formation here, the 2 XPR entries. don't want to battle too hard. So we are right about an hour left to go here at Coda. So we'll continue to see if they hold or they want to swap positions. Sometimes one way you can catch the cars in front of you is to leapfrog, so you let the trailing car get in the tow, make the pass, and then tuck right back in and just kind of pass each other going down the straights. And it can work, but it can be risky once you hit the braking zones, but that is one way you can use teamwork to catch another car. I'm just going to keep running through here. It looks like GSR Roadrunner is still ahead of Stubbsy for second place, so we'll just hang out here, see if this develops into an actual battle, or if they just run nose to tail. So right at an hour left here, and it looks like Roadrunner thought about trying something around the outside, but decided not to do it. We'll see if he can get a run here, heading up to the start-finish straight. So this is going to be awfully long, but to save you all that, what I just told you, here's a link directly to the Extreme GT section of Turns forums. So if you want to head over there and check out the car information, feel free. After we get finished here, of course. And make sure to leave a follow on the channel and get notifications for whenever we go live. These are bi-weekly series, so you have today, and then in 2 weeks time will be the next race. So it looks like Roadrunner's making a move, headed onto the back straight, and Chicane doesn't really fight him, lets him go by. So now we'll see if they play the draft game. And speaking of round 3, it will be the 27th of February over at Watkins Glen. So make sure to give us a follow and check that out in 2 weeks. We've still got an hour here, so see what develops as they get ready to catch. I believe that's Mr. T in that Mercedes. And they're definitely nose to tail right now. Well, it looks like Roadrunner got a much better entry. Oh, and it looks like Mr. T's gonna either made a mistake or let him go. Oh, it looks like he didn't want to get involved in that at all, which is fine because these guys are battling for position. It looks like XPR Chicane may have a run headed up to turn 1 here, up the hill. And he just follows, so looks like they either sort of battling, but they're really keeping it in clean. They don't want to push each other too hard, which makes perfect sense. So let's see how Stubbsy's getting along with catching GSR Roadrunner. And they're not too far apart either. So we'll sit up here and see what's going on, as it looks like there's a BMW headed down the back straight that's going to come into play here in a few corners time. Stubbsy taking that way wide, get on the power early. Really wants to get in that tow, pull up to the rear of GSR Roadrunner, maybe force him into a mistake. As they head into the stadium section yet again. Got to be very smooth through this section. One mistake and you compromise the entire set of corners. It looks like the BMW is far enough ahead that he might make it to the front straight, maybe even further than that. as they head underneath the tower. And we'll see what this BMW does. Could hold up the GTX cars or may split them. We'll see what happens as they catch them. Actually, hop on board here with Stubbsy. We'll ride on his hood and see what happens with this GT car ahead of him. Down through the long right-hander turn 2. And ready to set yourself up for the S's. Looks like GSR Roadrunner had a little bit of a rear kick out there. He gets slowed up terribly in the S's. This is a horrible place to try and make a pass, so you almost have to fall in line. The BMW goes a little wide and then comes back across. So now all of a sudden this GT car has made this a serious battle, and actually looks like it might allow Stubbsy to go through. Oh, but GSR Roadrunner gets the cutback, that's underneath. So they both clear the GT field, and then it looks like GSR Roadrunner pulls out about the same amount of gap. So, got a little hectic there. The pulses raised quite a bit through that section of the track. And probably for the GT driver as well. He was trying to hold his line as the slower car should do, but also trying not to get involved. He just wanted through there and leave me alone, guys. But it still looks like this battle rages on. So thought the BMW would play a part, and he did, but then kind of gave it all back. So, but Stubbsy is much closer here as they hit turn 15. And we'll go through the right-handers. Looks like GSR Roadrunner is getting a little loose again, like sliding it through the corners. Stubbsy plays this right and closes up on him after this corner. He'll get a good toe up to turn 1 where it's very hard to defend any moves made. Oh, into contact! It's like a Stubbsy outbroke himself and hit the rear of Roadrunner now. Is he going to let him go? I wonder if there was any damage on that. Doesn't look so. Maybe it could have been just a visual problem, because it doesn't look like anybody got any damage, so that's good. They can just resume this battle heads up as they go through the S's again. Man, GSR Roadrunner really pushing through the S's there, just forcing that car side to side. And it paid off. Looks like he pulled out a few feet. But Stubbsy needs to keep it as close as he can as they get ready. Last couple turns before the back straight. If he can get a good run out of here and get into the toe, that infield section, the stadium section, is great for passing here. It looks like GSR Roadrunner got a pretty good run out of that corner. It's like Stubbsy's closing up a little bit, but not enough as they hit the braking zone. And just saying that, Roadrunner gets it loose again, so he's keeping Stubbsy in this battle. And maybe Stubbsy just has the plan, if he can keep it this close, he's going to force Roadrunner into a mistake. Because it seems like every time he gets close, Roadrunner seems to kick the rear out a little bit, so he just needs that to happen when he's close enough and he could go through. And it looks like Stubbsy closes up on that braking section there. Oh, and Stubbsy goes into the pits. Is that a scheduled stop? It is. So scheduled stop for Stubbsy and probably the remainder of the GTX class, as GSR Roadrunner was usually able to push an extra lap out of the car. So second round of pit stops are underway. We'll see if the rest of the field follows suit. We're riding on board with Mr. Stepanov, who is 6th, the final car in GTX. And I do know that quite a few other GTX cars have hit the pits on this lap as well. So it looks like GSR Roadrunner is the only car trying to push his fuel mileage further than everyone else. Everyone else playing it kind of safe, coming in with about 8 to 10% of fuel left, where he's probably coming in with about 2. So any major incident out there, you know, he could run out of fuel, but I don't see it. He should take it pretty easy, but he does wear those tires out quite a bit. And then we'll see what our leader in GT is doing. It's still Zabsy. Last we checked, he was a ways away now. I don't know who that is behind him. That's a exiting GTX car. Yeah, that's the GTX car of XPR Roadrunner. Getting ready to lap the leader of GT. Zabsy looks like he lets him go. Has Zabsy made his second pit yet? No. Well, he's still on 40% fuel, so he doesn't need to pit for a while still. Or some of the other GT cars may. Like Dover, so it looks like I would assume. Oh, it looks like we lost Elmar Hybrid. I didn't even see that. It looks like Elmar Hybrid has disconnected. I'm not sure what that was due to, but it does. We did lose our second place GT car. As Dover pulls out of the pits, so yeah, we're down to 13 total. And that's very unfortunate. I thought we were going to make it with everybody was doing pretty good so far, but we did lose Elmar Hybrid, so very unfortunate as he was filling in for XPR General. So that means right now that well, Dover came out. It looks like Desert Penguin got out of the pits ahead of him. It almost looked like he let him go, didn't quite catch that into turn 1. But it looks like Dover's having a hell of a time right now with that BMW. Is he on cold tires? Yeah, he is. It's his out lap, so he's on cold tires trying to get him heated up, but here comes a GTX car right behind him. Looks like they'll be caught on the straight. Is that I'm guessing that would be. Well, that's got to be Stubbsy. Or no, that's Breeze. That's LRT Breeze. So that is your second place GTX car right now, but he probably will resume lead after GSR Roadrunner pits. And Dover makes a move down the inside. And can he make it stick? A little bit of bump in there. Looks like Dover gives way. See if he could get the over-under, but he can't get it done. Will he dive to the inside here? Turn 15. He gives it a look, but doesn't commit all the way. Falls back in line. So he maintains position, at least for now, behind Desert Penguin, who's having a pretty good drive considering he's filling in. And I don't know if this one was too long in the waiting. I think, I don't know when Desert Penguin found out he was racing today, but he's actually done fairly well considering. So he will get SCRL some points in the GT standings, and himself some points for the Drivers' Championship. So we'll see if Dover makes the move. He dives to the inside of turn 1. Was he close enough? He is. It looks like he forces Penguin out wide. Can he clear him by turn 2? Looks like he's staying wide. He's not quite sure where he is, but he's got the position easily. So up into 9th overall is Dover for the moment. It looks like Desert Penguin through the S's is not letting him go anywhere. So see if he can stay behind him and catch him again on the back straight. As Desert Penguin gets the back end loose a little bit, and they're letting Dover get away. This is not where you want to be doing that, because you could definitely use this back straight to pull up to him, and get too loose through there, you're going to lose the draft. And I think Dover's probably going to get away pretty easily. Maybe not away, but he's going to keep his position. He doesn't have to worry about a move being made down into turn 12. So Dover gets the place back and holds on to it easily. So you're see if everybody's pitted. I think all the GTX. Yes, our Roadrunner is still showing in first. Okay, he's in the pits now. So is he going in or coming out? He's going in, so let's find LRT Breeze, see where he's at. Oh, he's already passed him. So Breeze is way out in front. Considering GSR Roadrunner was in second in class and overall, and just hit his pit stall right when Breeze went by him. So Breeze is going to have a healthy lead as he hits these S's aggressively on the curbs. And we'll see where Roadrunner comes out compared to Stubbsy. That's Stubbsy right there. If that's so, they're going to be side by side. It is, and they are. Stubbsy gets the run. GSR Roadrunner on the cold tires heading into turn 2. Stubbsy takes second place back. So he just had to bide his time, so we'll see what happens here. But GSR Roadrunner is on the cold tires. So can Stubbsy get the advantage and make it work for him? Tell you what, this is very close, and with one car beyond on its outlap, gets a little scary. They hold like this, so there's going to be a hell of a run coming down on the back straight. Unless GSR Roadrunner goes for the move now, which he does. Stubbsy fights, but it looks like they're going to be side by side. Who got the better drive? GSR Roadrunner tucks in behind to try and get that little bit of extra top end to make the move down into turn 12. But it looks like Stubbsy got a great run. He had the outside line, could carry more speed. GSR Roadrunner goes for it on the inside, cuts across, and they're not giving up yet. Okay, Stubbsy's fallen in line here, but pushes right back. As they get ready to come into turn 15, does Stubbsy go to the inside, or does he just let it go? Looks like he's going to fall back in line, back into third. So GSR Roadrunner loses the place coming out of the pits, but by the end of the lap gets it back. So very good stuff there, especially being on cold tires. Great driving by GSR Roadrunner, and very clean by both drivers, even though it looks like GSR Roadrunner's headlight showing a little bit of damage. And yet again, these two are going to be catching lap traffic together, so we'll see if they get held up. Again, if you want to clear those GT cars by the time you hit the S's, because if not, you're almost stuck. But I guess the good thing is they're fighting each other. Everything's pretty clear around them. So we'll see if the Mercedes of Desert Penguin gets out of the way, or it looks like they're going to catch them right in the S's. So this could be bad. GSR Roadrunner's been unlucky, and he runs wide. Cuts the corner, and Stubbsy goes through easily. It looked like GSR Roadrunner got a little aggressive, but now he is chasing where Stubbsy could be held up by this Mercedes. They've got to get around him. Oh, and Stubbsy takes the aggressive line onto the inside through the corner. GSR Roadrunner follows suit, heading onto the back straight. So here we go again. Different laps, same issue. The GSR Roadrunner should get a good tow out of this if he stays in behind. And there was another lap car ahead of Stubbsy that I don't know if they'll clear him by the time they hit the braking zone here. And they're braking, and they haven't cleared him yet, so there should be a BMW just up the road. There it is. So when they catch him, this isn't over yet, not by a long shot. Looks like Stubbsy goes down to the inside of turn 15. BMW stays out wide. And this could hold up GSR Roadrunner unless he just throws it in there, which he does. Wouldn't expect anything less. Throws it into the inside of the triple right, gets it done. Does not want to let Stubbsy go. And these poor GT cars are just victims in this. Never know sure where these GTX cars are going to come flying through at. So it looks like Stubbsy got a little bit of a gap, but I don't expect that to last for long. We're just going to stay on board here. Because this looks like it is the battle on track to watch right now. So this is your round one winner of GSR Roadrunner versus the new GTX entry, the LRT team with LRT Breeze and LRT Stubbsy. So he's got some pride here winning round one. He wants to make it 2 in a row, but it looks like Breeze has got that pretty much sewn up, barring a major issue. So he wants to definitely finish second, split up the LRT team. And he is pushing. They're both pushing really hard right now. I would guess that they are hitting close to, if not exceeding, qualifying time the way these guys are driving right now. They're just pushing each other. It's good for us. Because they have a healthy gap. It looks like they have about a 1,700-foot gap on 4th place in GTX, which is XPR Roadrunner, so they don't have to worry about bringing the guy behind them in, and I don't believe that they're going to catch a breeze, so they can just all out right here. We're closing in on about 35 minutes left. So we will see how this develops. It looks like Stubbsy's maintaining that gap, but man, GSR Roadrunner is coming through that triple right quick. Carried it all the way out onto the outside curb to get it back across to make the apex of the next left. And I understand while you want to attack, you need to settle down. You just got out of your pit stop. You're 3 laps into your stint. Save your tires a little bit, especially since GSR Roadrunner is trying to stretch the fuel mileage. I mean, you want to have a little bit better tires when you have that one lap when all the other GTX cars have been pitting. So, but it's great action. I don't want them to let off at all for our sake. And these guys are race car drivers, so I don't think they know the meaning of the word 80% or anything less than maximum. I swear it looks to me like GSR Roadrunner has just gone full drift mode. Fastest way around the corner, he's just gonna light them up and power through it. As they head onto the back straight, halfway through it now. And it doesn't look like they're getting much run in the toe. I'd be expecting this trailing car to be closing up much closer than they are. So they're actually not getting that much benefit. Could be that they're running just super high downforce, or he's just not close enough. I would think he looked close enough, but he's not getting the run I'd be expecting. But it does look like Stubbsy just keeps getting really good runs headed onto the back straight. And if he extends that lead out, then the draft just puts it right back where it was. Yeah, Lone Wolf, we'll look forward to having you back next week. Or, not next week, 2 weeks. Sorry about that. Although, we'll say Desert Penguin's doing a good job filling in. As Ferrari, they go by Ferrari Fanatic. And was, well, we know what GSR Roadrunner's going to do. He's going to go for it. Yeah, he went for it and he made it. So cleared the lap traffic without an extra corner between them. So So he's got tunnel vision. All he sees is Stubbsy, and he is pushing these S's. I'm not sure. I wouldn't be surprised if these S's come back and bite him. I mean, if he just gets... He's on the edge now. If he goes too much further, I mean, he could end up in the wall or way out wide. Just like he did in the first stint, when he let Stubbsy get away from him. Granted, he did catch him, but had he not made that mistake earlier, he might be clear of Stubbsy by now, but he's going for it. No doubt about it. Get on the back straight. And again, not much ground gained. I know we're a little hyper-focused here, but it's really hard to break away from this action. These guys have been going for the better part of the entire race so far. Like I said, GSR Roadrunner did have that incident in Stint 1. No contact, but he did spin it. So he spent Stint 1 pretty much catching up, and then ever since then they've been within touching distance of each other. GSR Roadrunner runs out onto the AstroTurf. Looks like Stubbsy missed the apex a little bit. This could give GSR Roadrunner the run he wants. Again, he's out onto the AstroTurf. Not quite where you want to be, especially if you're running non-traction control. You're going to get some extra wheel spin out there. Not to mention you're beyond the track. Not IMSA rules, guys. And this is what really gets me nervous here, is coming into the S's. I mean, the way he just throws it in there. There he goes again. I mean, a few feet behind Stubbsy. And again, he loses a little ground because he slides through one of the turns. But it doesn't make much difference to him. He's going to stay in the throttle. He slides again. Definitely an interesting way to get around the track here. Now, if he can stay this close, he should get the toe. I would think he has to get the toe at this point. But he is right behind him. I expect that there's going to be a move here. There's got to be. It looks like Stubbsy goes defensive. Down to the inside. He's going to make Roadrunner go the long way around. Or did he kick back out? No, he keeps the inside line. Telling Roadrunner, if you want it, you got to come get it. So he goes for the over-under, roasts him up. And he pushed a little too hard, so actually I think Stubbsy baited him into the move a little bit. And GSR Roadrunner went in willingly and overcooked it. Now I do know that GSR Roadrunner's entry into here is absolutely flying. So we'll see if he closes up. Doesn't look like it. Stubbsy's got a great line through there. And I must say, while GSR Roadrunner's pushing and kicking it loose, it looks like Stubbsy's very well under control, smooth, and just driving well. Meanwhile, I hate to say, I think Breeze is probably almost lapping his own class at this point. I really want to break away, but I know as soon as I move from this, as looks like the over-under. So Stubbsy let him go and then got him back, coming down on the inside of the turn. So swap position, swap him right back. Again through the S's. Just can't break away from these two cars. Sorry to everybody else in the field, but can't take our eyes off this one. This could end epically or a disaster. And we'll just wave to the other cars as we go by. I'm going to just see what GSR Roadrunner's done. So he's at 50% fuel and he's already almost at 30% wear. So he's going to end up with about 60, a little over 60% wear by the time he pits. So he's using up those tires pretty aggressively. But he's fighting through it, so... Getting here into the stadium. Looks like he's just following this time around. Is that BMW up there? Better get ready. Since this is for position. Looks like they're both going to go to the inside. Oh, this is not a great place to catch somebody. Stubbsy goes around the outside. Oh, and GSR Roadrunner gets forced off by the BMW. So Stubbsy is going... Oh, GSR Roadrunner does well to get it back together. Great save. Great save. And then he runs wide, so now he's going to be pushing even harder because Stubbsy just got a little bit, couple hundred feet of ground on him. So, GT traffic playing its part. Nowhere for that BMW to go. He's trying to get there on his racing line, and that's just a bad spot to make a pass. Can't blame anybody. The GTX cars want to get by. The GT car's trying to hold his line. That's just an unfortunate area to catch somebody. So it looks like now GSR Roadrunner's got the work to do again. I'm sure I'll have no problem doing that. But all that being said and done, even with that having to save it, he didn't lose that much ground. And man, if he could turn up the attack mode anymore, I think he's done it. No Sidewinder, I think they were, I agree, I think they were both kind of in the right. I can't blame the BMW driver either at all, or Roadrunner. I think they both did what they needed to do, but Roadrunner really wanted to get by, so I don't think any... That's just an unfortunate circumstance and an unfortunate place to catch a car. But top marks to Roadrunner for keeping it together. That could have easily ended up into a slide or spin and damage. And an extra pit stop, so good on him for keeping it together. So while we have a breather, let's check on our leader, LRT Breeze. We know that the other guys are coming through start-finish straight, and he is into the S's, so he's got a comfortable lead. He's through the S's. So LRT Breeze is on cruise control right now. Doesn't have to push the car at all. Not any more than he wants to. Although he's going to be in the pits awfully soon. He's already on 9% fuel where GSR Roadrunner's on 50. I'll tell you what, GSR Roadrunner is really stretching out the fuel mileage here. Because I believe everybody is in pit sequence with Breeze on the same lap, except Roadrunner just keeps pushing the fuel further and further. You know, we've got a little under half hour. I don't think he can eliminate a pit stop, but you never know. He could go for it. He may think that that's his only way to get a win. So we'll see. I expect Breeze will probably pit this lap, which means that Stubbsy may pit this lap. And if GSR Roadrunner's got 37% fuel, if he gets 3-4 laps of open air, man, this could get interesting. They're closing up on our GT leader Zabzy. Sorry, Zabzy, we haven't gotten too much time on you with this battle going on. But he needs to keep it clean. He's leading his own race, the GT race, by long ways, and he just pulls off and lets the GTX cars go by. There's no reason for him to take any risks there, and didn't want them to catch him in this right-hander again, in the triple right. So they'll take the easy way out. And oh, Roadrunner! Tell you, his vehicle recovery, second to none. I thought that was, well, I thought that was 100% damage coming up. Stubbsy's taking the lead. So Breeze did pit, probably with about 7% fuel. What is... Oh, Stubbsy. This is going to be close. He stayed out the extra lap, took the overall lead. I'm going to keep this open here, and we'll see where he comes in with fuel. I'm guessing it's gonna be about 2% fuel left when he hits pit road. He's got to pit this lap. He needs to pit this lap, and he needs to hope for a very clean air. I know there's a couple GT cars up there. He's at 4% on the back straight. He pushed it. He's pushing it. Where just our Roadrunner, he's done something with that fuel mileage. Tell you what. I think he got 1 lap on stint 1, and must have got 2 laps on second stint extra over these guys. So another pit stop is going to be close. I don't know. I don't know if he's going to push it or not. I think right now he just needs to just hang out behind Stubbsy, and that's Breeze right behind him. Because he's going to assume the race lead right here, but he's going to have a fresh-fueled Breeze right behind him. Well, not too far behind him. Okay, Stubbsy gets into the pits with 1% fuel left. Push it to the absolute limit there. So now let's jump on board with LRT Breeze. We could go to a guy that's been leading with the cleanest car out of everybody and see if he can get this pass done before Roadrunner pulls into the pits. This is one of the few times GSR Roadrunner, though, is going to have open air ahead of him. And he'll see what he can do. He's on probably about 30% fuel. Breeze is getting held up by Mr. T here in the Mercedes, a white Mercedes. Through the S's, doesn't want to take any risks, and don't blame him. I mean, he will retake the lead at some point. It's just a matter of when. Breeze gets very close. He may go for the outside here. Looks like no, he's just going to hang out, probably almost hang out till the corner before the back straight. So, see what happens here. Yeah, Breeze goes down to the inside. Probably be surprised if he was almost pushing that Mercedes along that little short straight. So can he reel in Roadrunner before Roadrunner hits pits? That's the question. And the question for me is, can Roadrunner restop this? Because I don't think the other guys can. I mean, we still have about 20 minutes to go. Tell you what, this fuel strategy here, if this happens 2 rounds in a row, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to assume it's going to happen the last 2 rounds as well. Because with a second place car running out of fuel in round 1, and if this happens again here, I'll just take the fuel calculator and throw it out the window. And it also might mean that some of the other guys may want to take a look at Roadrunner's strategy here. As Breeze gets ahead of Desert Penguin, the other black Mercedes here, who is filling in for Lone Wolf, who we hope to see back at Watkins Glen. So can, where's Roadrunner at? He's in the middle of turn 2 there, I think. If we jump on board with him, and should be hitting the S's. Yeah, just up through the S's. So can he put down the lap times that he needs to? See Breeze back there just starting to come up the hill. So you are watching Extreme GT Round 2 here from Circuit of the Americas. I am your host, Josh Eifert, XPR Forbidden. Make sure to give us a follow here at twitch.tv/XP Racing. to get all the coverage of Extreme GT round 2 out of 4. Next round is at Watkins Glen in 2 weeks' time. So follow us there, and follow our YouTube, which is in the details below the stream here. And head over to theultimateracing.network.com and find the core, the community series section, and you will find Extreme GT if you want any details about the cars, about the tracks, about results, anything like that. We'll start updating points probably at Watkins Glen, see what kind of points battles we have going on. Which this will be interesting since GSR Roadrunner did win round 1. If he finishes 2nd or 3rd here, and XPR Chicane, who finished 2nd at round 1, finishes 4th, well, it'll be a little bit of a gap, but it'll mean all to play for the final 2 rounds. So GSR Roadrunner staying out again, straddling the curbing there. Didn't want to disrupt the tires. How far can he push this thing? He's got 12% left. It'll almost be 2 laps. Be interesting to see if he pits this lap or tries to go one more. Worst thing you could do would be misjudge your fuel usage and run out a couple of corners before the start finish, or before the entry, and have to coast it. But it looks like he wants to try and do this on a 3-stop, or he's going to pit and then drive a few laps till he knows he can make it and pit again and try and get the short pit stop for the 4th stop. So it'll be interesting to see what he's got going on. I don't know. He was about, in qualifying, he was about 7/10 off of Breeze. And Breeze is headed down the back straight. Doesn't look like Breeze has closed the gap any, but I don't know how hard he's really pushing right now. He knows Roadrunner's got another pit to go. And I think he's just waiting. Looks like it's going to come down to strategy, to be honest. It looks like it's going to come out, does this work for GSR Roadrunner? And what do these guys do? How much fuel does he have left? 70. I don't think he'll make it. So would it be wise to take the shorter pit stop if you have to take 4 for you as well? Because I definitely, time-wise, don't think it's beneficial to run all the way out. The shorter the pit stop, the better it is for you. So did Roadrunner stay out again? It looked like he did. No, he's in the pits now. So LRT Breeze will take the race lead again, the overall lead. So looks like they're using, or well, Roadrunner's case, it's 6% a lap. So let's jump on board with Stubbsy, because this is probably going to resume again. And see where everybody's at. So there's Stubbsy coming into the final 2 corners. And where will Roadrunner be? Probably be within about 10 feet of him. Well, let's see if we see. There's Roadrunner right up there. He just hit the end of pit road, so he's on it. So what happens into turn 1? GSR Roadrunner's ahead. Full tires, but ahead. So after the first pit stop, Roadrunner was 2nd. After the 2nd pit stop, he was 3rd. After the 3rd pit stop, he's back to 2nd. So we'll see what happens. So your overall running order right now, overall leader is LRT Breeze, followed by GSR Roadrunner just out of the pits. 3rd is LRT Stubbsy. 4th, XPR Roadrunner. 5th is Mr. Stepanov. Oh, and it looks like, did we have a lag out there? Who was that? Who did we lose? We're down to 12. Looks like we lost XPR Chicane. Oh, that's unfortunate. Looks like XPR Chicane did retire. And that being said, here we go. Stubbsy right behind Roadrunner. Anyway, so Mr. Stepanov has moved up into 5th. And then Zapsy is up 1 overall place into 6th, but still leading GT. as he gets a good view of this battle here as it gets ready to resume, and there's 2 more lap cars ahead of him. Ferrari Fanatic is second in GT, then Dover 78, a blue Ninja Bear, Desert Penguin filling in for Lone Wolf, Stug 77, and Mr. T, and we also did have another retirement of LMR Hybrid, who's filling in for XPR General. So that being said, let's get right back here with Stubbsy and see what happens this time around. Round 4, is it? And Zabsy is lapping the GT field. Desert Penguin just ahead of him, about to go a lap down. So Zabsy looks like he's running away with the GT field. So very unfortunate about Hybrid. We thought they were going to have a pretty good battle, but Hybrid retired earlier. Even though qualifying Zabsy was ahead by about 3 seconds qualifying pace. So Stubbsy does get around the Audi before the S's, which I think is a huge benefit for him. Allows him to keep in contact, otherwise he would have had to fall in line and follow that Audi through the S's. So instead he can get out, run his own pace, run his own line. So don't worry, that car's just there on my screen, he's not there on track. So no danger to anybody, it just gives me a heart attack every time I see it. So now can Stubbsy here benefit from any tow he's going to get? Or is Roadrunner, is it going to be the same that it just doesn't seem to close up? But this one looks like Roadrunner's further ahead, so it looks like he's probably out of the draft. So looks like he's just going to hold position here. And he's on 60% fuel, and I'd say Roadrunner's got to be on 90%. 13 minutes to go. Roadrunner may not have to pit again. He may not have to pit again. Oh, this is shaping up to be pretty interesting. So we will see what is going on here. This is going to be an interesting finish again. And again at second place. But the lead could come into play depending on if Breeze needs to pit. He's at 50%. 6% a lap. Oh man. 8 laps. I'm not sure if he's going to make it or not. So this will be... I really don't think Roadrunner needs to pit again. Tell you what, this out of the classes, I really didn't think GTX was going to play the fuel strategy game, and here I am again, second round that I'm wrong about it. So everyone out there, fuel strategy matters whether you're in a spec class or not. The thing is, what do the LRT and everybody else in GTX think that they need to do? Can they make it? We're at 12 minutes to go. Oh, I don't know. This is... Yet again, I know it's 12 minutes and it's a long way to talk about this, but last time we ended the race watching somebody's telemetry, watching the fuel bleed away. So we're gonna see what happens here. But it doesn't look like Stubbsy can catch GSR Roadrunner at all. So we're gonna go ahead and go a little bit back through the field. We'll see how Zabsy's doing. I know he was catching the tail end of his own class here. So see if he has cleared everybody while we were doing this or what. So Yeah, it looks like he's gotten through some of it. So he's just out ahead by a ways. Whereas Ferrari Fanatic is now second in class. So Zabsy is hitting the start-finish line. And Ferrari Fanatic is about to go, is only through the S's. So Zabsy has gone off and disappeared. So that's unfortunate. So I think Zabsy just needs to work on keeping it clean, and now we know why he had no problem pulling over, letting the GTX battle go through. So here's a blue Ninja Bear, who's actually... he's only 4th in class and about to go a lap down. So the lead isn't up for grabs, but there's some other positions that could be. Well, Zabsy is just keeping it clean, and I think these GT cars are going to let him go, realize that he's pretty much got this one sewn up. Yep. And Blue Ninja Bear just kind of realizes what's going on and lets him go. And then you can still get some help coming down the back straight. Use that toe to get a little more top end to increase the gap or close the gap on behind or ahead, respectively. So let the leader go, and then and then he dives back to unlap himself. Not sure what he's doing there, but it's going to work out worse for him because Zabsy still goes through, and the GTX car of XPR Roadrunner goes through. So I don't know why he would even try to make the pass there. The worst thing you could do would be a back marker. Well, not really a back marker. I mean, he's 4th in class, but take out the leader of the race. Because GT is its own race, so you have to realize the situation, that wasn't for position. There's no reason to fight back there. So we are under 10 minutes to go, 9 minutes to go here at Circuit of the Americas for round 2 of Extreme GT, and we may have a fuel race on our hands. We need to get up and check out LRT Breeze and see how he's doing on fuel, because I think GSR Roadrunner, who's in 2nd place, is fine. 32% fuel. So we're looking at probably about 4 more laps at 6%. It looks like it'll be close, but it looks like LRT Breeze can make it on fuel. So if he can make it on fuel, everybody in GTX should be good to go to the end. So that being said, it's a heads-up race between Stubbsy and GSR Roadrunner for 2nd place overall. And we'll check real quick, see if Stubbsy's closed the gap at all. They head down the back straight. They made their way through some lap traffic here. And see where GSR Roadrunner is. And the gap's closed back up. So, big surprise. They're battling it out. We'll come back to that in a minute because that's probably what we'll end up watching to the end. So we'll see how Ferrari Fanatic's holding up in 2nd in class. 2nd in class. So that means he's got to be lapping the other GT cars as well. So this GT field, they really spread out early and then just went from there, where the GTX guys didn't quite want to let each other go as easily. But good on them. I mean, it's doing good. Well, we want to thank everybody for hanging out with us for this hour and 45-minute race. GTX and GT classes, multi-class racing here at COTA. So, round 2 of 4. 3rd round at Watkins Glen in 2 weeks. As we approach the final stages here, which I thought fuel would come into play. It still could if my math is incorrect, but I hope it's not. Although it'd make for an interesting end. As Ferrari Fanatic drifts at a commentator's curse, I keep thinking I'm going to where there's really no action, then somebody kicks it wide. So let's see, is that a Dover he's catching? It's hard to tell these Lego liveries apart. So it doesn't look like it's Dover, so it's got to be Stug then. Yep. So as Ferrari Fanatics getting ready to put Stug down a lap. Lego livery still number one. Some very good liveries here brought to Extreme GT. I know Super GT, which Extreme GT is modeled after, has some pretty extravagant liveries as well, and good to see that this kind of carried over. So again, make sure to give us a follow here to keep up with all our live action, and follow us on Twitter, also at twitter.com/XP_club, and or you can just go below the stream here and click those links, and that'll take you to our social media. Make sure to follow us on YouTube as well, because we will be uploading all the replays to YouTube. And if you are watching from YouTube, head over to Twitch and follow the channel and check out when we go live. So, is there going to be any fuel issues in GT? Something I totally neglected, and I apologize for. So we will head through the GT, guys, and we could just leave the telemetry up. Okay, well, so Zapsy could go for about another hour. Sarcasm, but he could go for quite a ways. Looks like, so far, everyone's going to make it on fuel. Got about 4 minutes left. I think everyone will make it on fuel. Only thing is that we haven't got to is BMWs. Now this may not work. Mercedes is on 10%. He's gonna have to pit again. About 3.5 minutes. I mean, he's not gonna make it unless he slows his laps up. He's gonna need to pit again. So the BMW's 50%. Let's see the other Mr. T, the other Mercedes from Penguin. He did pit again. So he did take the extra pit stop. Had to. He probably realized he wasn't going to make it. And then it looks like GSR Roadrunners actually put a bit of a gap here on Stubbsy. And they've got 25% fuel. And when they cross the line here, there's probably going to be about 2 minutes left, so possibly 2 laps to go this time by. We'll see. Oh, Mr. T gets very sideways. Remember, he just pitted. That's probably his outlap, so he's on the cold tires trying to follow the GTX car through the corner and lost it. Good thing Stubbsy was ahead of him. So we'll see how this goes. Oh yeah, just under 2 minutes left here. So time to put it all on the line. Stubbsy can reel in GSR Roadrunner. Looks like everybody else is fairly spread out. Breeze seems to be winning this one comfortably. I don't see any issues for him unless something goes horrifically wrong. Only the 2 retirements, so pretty happy with that. Thought we were going to actually make it through without any, considering the way things went. We didn't have any restarts, anything like that, but fortunately did have 2 retirements, which are, I guess it's not bad considering the system we're on, but I still hate to see it. Feel bad for the guys who practice too, and then something that's not their fault gives out. Well, here we go. We need to see what Breeze is doing, where he's at on track, to try and figure out. He's pitting. Breeze is in the pits. Oh, this got a lot more interesting right here. We need to get on board with GSR Roadrunner. Where is he at? They're coming through the stadium section. Oh, I think Breeze should make it out ahead of time. But does this mean Stubbsy needs to pit? And does everybody need to pit again? He's got 17% fuel, so he has probably got 2 laps left. I think Breeze could have pushed it, but chose not to because of how big his lead is. So we can see down the front straight, I don't see any cars coming around. So it looks like Breeze got in and out without compromising anything. He's just gonna, his lead delta won't be as big, but he decided to take the extra pit stop. So we've got about only about 15 seconds probably in race time. So this should be the white flag lap. And we'll see if Breeze pulls off after this lap. This being Forza 6 and the way it is, we just run to the time, run that lap, and then kind of pull over everybody. So we can't really get a legitimate checker. And with the spectator mode, I can't tell what their plan is. So we'll have to sit on here with Breeze. And this should be the white flag lap based on the timer that I'm seeing. And it looks like, I think everybody's going to make it, so I think everybody's good. But that being said, GSR Roadrunner is right behind Breeze now. So Breeze on what I think to be the white flag lap on cold tires, full of fuel, and GSR Roadrunner behind him on the warm tires and the lighter fuel load. He's going to go for it. No question. He's going to try and make this happen and take the second consecutive win. I don't think there's enough track left, but with Breeze being on those cold tires, 5 corners left with this triple right, the Roadrunner senses it and is going to just hammer it down. But I think he just ran out of real estate. He's not going to catch him. So, final corner, and then he does that. So, definitely closer than it could have been. But I believe Breeze is going to take the win here. I believe this should be checker flag. Yeah, Breeze pulls to the inside. Checker flag, your winner, LRT Breeze, but a lot closer than I think we were expecting. As a Roadrunner says, "Oh heck," and throws it sideways one more time. So LRT Breeze, your overall winner. GSR Roadrunner comes in second, even though this is misleading because of where they stopped on track. LRT Stubbsy, it will be third, followed by XPR Roadrunner in fourth, and Mr. Stepanov. I hope somebody in lobby gets them back in order because that's not their finishing order, so we'll see what happens there. They're supposed to get in order, but I think all gentlemanly, they know where they finish. Yeah, and their Roadrunner goes ahead and pulls ahead, so that way anybody taking a picture on the timing screen can figure it out. So going through, so XPR Roadrunner in fourth, fifth is Mr. Stepanov, and your winner in GT is Zabsy. So good for him, second place in round 1 and the win here in round 2. Followed by Dover 78 and Ferrari Fanatic getting third in GT, so good podium for him. A Blue Ninja Bear comes all the way from the back of the field to finish fourth in class. Desert Penguin, the sub for Lone Wolf, coming in and having a great drive. Good job on him. Stug 77, and then Mr. T brings up the rear with the 2 retirements of XPR Chicane and LMR Hybrid. So one more time before we get out of here, LRT Breeze overall winner, LRT Stubbsy second in GTX, and Roadrunner, I'm sorry, they passed each other again. Roadrunner second GTX, and then Stubbsy in third GTX. So there's your GTX podium. Your GT podium is Zabsy, then Dover 78 and Ferrari Fanatic. So that is going to wrap it up here from Circuit of the Americas. And for everyone at Extreme Performance Racing, and, well, if they let me say it, and from Turn, I'm Josh Eifert, XPR Forbidden. Make sure to give us a follow on Twitch, head over to the YouTube, follow us on Twitter, and theultimateRacingNetwork.com. And we will see you in 2 weeks at Watkins Glen. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you then.